interconnected ocean, a vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the story of the ocean with all its splendor and uncertainty than the killer whale, or as it's scientifically known, the orca. The orca lives in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the mighty Pacific and beyond. This whale's story is the ocean's story, and it is one we all share.
Welcome to SeaWorld's Orca Encounter. My name is Connor, and I'm honored to introduce you to these intriguing and majestic animals. There's nothing like seeing a killer whale up close and learning about them and their natural behaviors. We hope that this Orca Encounter will help you gain a greater appreciation for these incredible animals and all that they represent.
While they are found in every ocean, orcas living off the coast of Iceland are quite different than those near Costa Rica. In fact, there are at least 10 types, or ecotypes, of killer whales. An ecotype describes the differences between killer whales' size, physical form, prey, social structure, and habitat. As you can see, the differences are subtle, but noticeable when compared side by side. Orcas are adapted perfectly to their environments. And even the whale's black and white coloration has a purpose. It camouflages the outline of their bodies in the water, making it easier for them to surprise and catch their prey. When viewed from above, the black of the whale blends in with the dark depths of the ocean. When viewed from below, the orca's white bellies match the brighter surface of the water, blending with the light above, giving them the perfect camouflage.
Killer whales really are a natural wonder, and Shuka is going to help us show you some of their physical characteristics. The blowhole on her head is perfectly designed for getting a quick breath at the surface. Even the location of her eyes works to her advantage. Looks like it's in that white badge, but that's a visual distraction. It's actually located at the corners of her mouth, camouflaged from thrashing prey. The fin on their back is called a dorsal fin. This helps the animals keep stable while they're swimming and also regulate their body temperature. sometimes if they spend more time at the surface, gravity can help encourage that fin to one side. The flippers on either side are called pectoral flippers, and this helps the animals with steering and stopping. Inside the pectoral flipper are 5 bony digits, similar to the human hand. The lobes at the end of the killer whale's body are called tail flukes. This is the killer whale's engine, helping propel them up to speeds near 30 miles an hour, as fast as some of our speedboats. Killer whales use the most power and gain the most speed when they're propelling their nearly 10,000-pound bodies out of the water.
Killer whales are highly social animals with a well-defined social structure. An orcapod is always led by a female. Though just half the size of her male counterpart, she is in charge. It's all about attitude, not size. Because they live and work as a group, orcas need to communicate with sounds and body language. Orcas use clicks for echolocation or navigation. Whistles to socialize in the pod. And calls for group coordination and hunting. Vocal development studies here at SeaWorld show that early on, calves learn vocalization from their mothers. But as they grow, they learn from others close to them as well. This is a bottlenose dolphin call that Shuka learned and even taught other killer whales here at SeaWorld. In fact, orcas are the largest members of the dolphin family. Whales here and in the wild use vocalization to communicate all the time.
Like most animals, killer whales use body language as a form of communication. They'll use peck slaps to show off their dominance or to get the attention of another animal. For example, a mother may use a peck slap to get her calf's attention. But when they really want to be heard, they breach. Spine hopping is when killer whales coordinate together and get a better view of their surroundings when they hunt. Tail slaps is another form of communication killer whales use in the wild. Killer whales are great communicators, so it's no surprise that they're at the top of the ocean's food chain.
Killer whales work together to rear their young protect their pod, and most importantly, pursue and catch their prey. Every day they cooperate to survive in the wild oceans of the world. The orca's hunting techniques are as varied as the whales themselves. Norwegian killer whales will circle herring, herding them together. The whales use sounds to coordinate with each other and to disorient the herring. With the fish confused and contained, the whales stun them with their powerful tail flukes, making for an easy meal.
Whales in the southern hemisphere will capture sea lions by pulling them right off the beach. Orca is going to demonstrate a similar movement right here in front of all of you. Killer whales in Antarctica will actually create waves that wash over ice floes, knocking seals into the water. Shuk is demonstrating this wave-making technique, showcasing one of the many complex hunting strategies killer whales have developed around the world. You just saw these waves crashing in front of you, but you really couldn't understand how powerful these waves are until you experience it firsthand. Luckily, the majority of you are about to experience 55-degree water and the power of the killer whale's tail flukes. All right, get ready guys, here comes the kite. How'd that feel, guys? Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, because killer whales live in all oceans of the world, it's no surprise that they prey on a variety of different animals, including other whales. The blue whale on the screen is the largest animal on Earth. It's 5 times longer and 50 times heavier than any of our killer whales. So how does an animal the size of Corky prey on something the size of a blue whale? Well, it's possible because killer whales are the ultimate team players.
In this example, we see the larger male orcas surround a sperm whale, forming a perimeter, while the females continue to drive the whale forward until it reaches exhaustion. The calves then move in to join the adults in the group. Whatever their prey, killer whales always cooperate and hunt together, making them a highly successful predator.
Play is an important part of killer whale life. It's how they teach their young to hunt and practice their skills as they grow. In the wild, you'll often see killer whales showing off their playful side. We see it here with our animals all the time. Porpoising is when an animal swims fast, breaking the surface briefly. You may see them doing this, trying to catch the ride on the wake of a boat, or when surfing in a wave. Killer whales like to be touched and will often rub their bellies on rocks when they can. We see our animals doing similar rubbing behaviors, just like whales in British Columbia. In the wild, you'll often see killer whales imitating each other. The animals here at SeaWorld do it pretty often. They're constantly learning and mimicking one another. Playful behavior does have a purpose. A tail whip is used in hunting to stun fish. But today, these animals might just be stunning some of you. We interact with our animals every day, which allows us to do research, provide healthcare, and quality of life. The animals in our care are conditioned to participate in their own health and well-being. If you look across the way, you'll see John Mashuka. She's presenting him his tail flips. This is a very important husbandry behavior which allows us to be able to collect a blood sample. We get blood samples on our animals monthly to make sure that we're being proactive with their health. The animals can even slide out onto a scale. This allows us to track their weight. We weigh the whales weekly to make sure that the older whales are staying healthy and that our younger whales are growing properly. We can even get breath samples from their blowholes. All of these behaviors are possible because of the relationships we've built day after day here at SeaWorld. Now joining us out here and with all of you is going to be Caitlin and a very special whale named Corky. Corky is our oldest animal here at 54 years old, and she weighs over 8,000 pounds. Corky is a very playful, friendly killer whale. She really enjoys seeking out the attention of her behaviors and also really enjoys spending time with our younger whale, Makani, and over there, Ikaika. Now we challenge the animals every day to engage and stimulate their minds. Diet, exercise, and of course playing with our whales helps keep them all in great shape.
The whales here at SeaWorld have helped killer whales in the wild by participating in many research studies. One ongoing study monitors the whale's heart rate and breathing to understand how marine noise pollution from ship engines and other sources affect wild populations. In another study, scientists from NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, took measurements of the killer whales living here, including pregnant whales. By comparing these measurements with drone footage of killer whales in the wild, scientists are able to monitor the wild population's nutritional and reproductive states. Other research has been done here at SeaWorld on the mother whale's milk composition. This research will help create an effective model to understand how toxins in the ocean impact wild killer whales and their milk supply. What we learn from the whales in our care every day is actively helping whales in the wild survive. And just by being here today, you've supported our rescue, research, and conservation efforts all around the world. If we work together, like the killer whale, we can protect the future of the Orcinus orca and this beautiful planet that we all share.
Once our flag gets to your row in your section, they will let you know it is your turn to be dismissed. Until then, we do ask you please remain seated, and this will allow us to help you remain socially distant.
Parang tamad ngayon.